Today we're going to talk about multi-step equations. So we're going to do a couple warm-up problems. Remember with distributed property, we just take that number on the outside and we multiply it into both numbers on the inside. So it's going to be 8 times 2, which is 16, and then 8 times x, which is negative 8x. And again on this one, negative 3 times negative x, which is positive 3x, and then negative 3 times negative 4, which is positive 12. This one is going to be 4 times negative 2x, which is negative 8x. And then 4 times 1, which is 4. And then our last warm-up, 6 times 3, which is 18. And then 6 times negative 2, which is negative 12x. That's our quick little warm-up. So we've been talking about how to solve equations, and we're going to talk about it. Let's get rid of that. Okay, remember, we need to simplify each side of the equation if possible. So if we can distribute and combine like terms, we want to do that first. Okay, distribute and combine like terms. Then we're going to add or subtract both sides by b, and then either multiply or divide b. So let's take a look at some examples. Alright, so we can't distribute because we have no parentheses, but we can combine like terms. So 5 and negative 3 are like terms. So we do what it says, 5 minus 3, which is 2. Then over here, it's 7t minus 4t. Those are like terms as well, because remember, to be a like term, it's the same letter. Okay, that's all they have to have. So 7t minus 4t is positive 3t. We're going to bring equals 9. After we do all that, it says add or subtract next. So we're going to take this positive 2, and we're going to put a minus 2 underneath, and whenever I do the 1, I have to do the other. This 3t comes down. 9 minus 2 gives me 7. And then the last step is multiply or divide. So we're going to take this number in front of that t and divide by it. And remember, we talked about if it's can't divide, just leave it as a fraction of 7 over 3. And let's look at letter B. We're going to combine like terms if we can. So here we have 7p plus 8p. We can combine those. That gives me 15p. Negative 16 doesn't have anything, so we're going to bring it down in 59. After we do all that, we're going to make sure we can remove the number by adding or subtracting. So that's going to give me a plus 16 because it's negative. Whatever I do to one, I got to do the other. So I get 15p is equal to 75. And then multiply or divide, we're going to divide in this case because it's in front. And we get p is equal to 5. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, we want to distribute always first, so that's 2 times f, which is 2f, and then 2 times 4, which is 8. Everything else is going to come down, so we're going to have 3f and then 33. Then combine like terms if we can. We can combine these two. 3f plus 2f is 5f, and everything else will come down. Then we're going to add or subtract both sides by that constant. So that's positive 8, so we're going to put a minus 8 underneath it. So we're going to have 5f is equal to 25. And lastly, we're going to divide both sides by that 5. So we're going to get f is equal to 5. And then same thing over here. We're going to take this negative 2 here and distribute. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. We're going to bring down our 4. We're going to bring down our 28. Combine like terms if we can. This 4 can combine with negative 18. That's going to give me negative 14. Okay, then we're going to take that negative 14 and add it to both sides. That's going to give me negative 6x equals 42. Then we're going to divide both sides by that negative 6. So we get x is equal to negative 7. These tend to get a little bit tricky when we have fractions that we have to deal with. Okay? So to get rid of the fractions, we have to find a number that both denominators go into. So 5 and 3. And they both go into 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every top by that number of 15, including this 2 on the outside. So what that's going to do, 15 times 3 is going to give me 45h over 5 minus 15h over 3 equals negative 30. Well, then we could divide it out. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then we can combine. 9h minus 5h is 4h. And then we'll divide it out. We can divide by 4 on both sides. So we get h equals negative 30 over 4, but there's a number that goes into both, 2, so we're going to divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So we get negative 15 over 2. So again, how we did that, we looked at the two denominators and we found the denominator they both go into. So 7 and 14, the number they both go into is 14, so I'm going to multiply each one of these tops by 14, including this outside over here. So what that's going to give me, that's going to give me 28m over 7. Let's see, what's that going to be? Minus 42m over 14 equals 14. Divide them out, so 28 divided by 7 is 4m. 42 divided by 13 is 3m. Combine like terms, we can here. So 4m minus 3m is 1m, or just m. Remember, which is m and 1m are the same. And it's going to be equal to 14, so we are done. Decimals are done the same way. So we want to take this 2.5 and subtract it from both sides. Our negative 5d comes down. Gives me negative 13.75. And because they were decimals, when we divide this, we're going to leave them as decimals. So I'm going to get d is equal to 2.75. Okay, on this one, we're going to find that 2.4 because it's positive. We're going to subtract it from both sides. Those cancel out. That gives me negative 1.2 equals negative 0.6x. Divide by that negative 0.6. That gives me x is equal to positive 2. Alright, the last one. There is a 12-foot fence on one side of a rectangular garden. The garden has 44 feet of fencing to include the other 3 sides. Okay, so we have a rectangle. We know that one side of that rectangle is 12 feet. And we know that to get the rest of this covered, the other 3 sides, it's going to be a total of 44 feet. Okay, one thing we know about a rectangle, whatever is on one side has to be on the other. So this is also 12 feet. So I know I'm going to subtract 12 from there. It's going to be 32. And I know between this side and this side, they have to be the same length. So we're going to take that 32 and divide it by 2, which gives me 16 feet on each side. All right, that's all we have for today. Hope you learned something, and go do Math Excel.